This is our third lesson on adding and subtracting fractions. So we're going to have a look at another method today. So we've got 1/4 plus 1/6. I'll show you the first method. Here we have converted the fractions. So if we imagine, now I know that I could split this rectangle here into quarters. So I would have 1/4 here, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. And I could also split this into 6 going across. So I could say 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4, 5, and 6. So if we were looking at a quarter, we would be looking at this bit here. We'd know that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts shaded. So a quarter would be the same as saying 6/24. Now equally, if we were to look at 1/6, so we're now looking at this part here, it would be the same as saying we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 24ths. So we could rewrite our calculation here as 6 24ths plus 4 24ths. Then I know that I can add these together to find out how many 24ths I have in total, which would be 10. Okay, and then another method, you'll see this is slightly different here. Now, what is different about this one? We're still using equivalent fractions. So we've gone from 1/4 to 3/12. And we've gone from 1/6 to 2/12. So let's have a look to see what this would look like first. So this time we've split our shape into 12ths. Now 1/4 we can see quite easily because we know that we've got 1/4 there, 2, 3, and 4. So 1/4 here is the same as saying 1, 2, 3/12. Now if we look at the 6, so how would I split this shape into 6 parts? Well, I know that I could go, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, okay? So each part would be equivalent to 2/12. So we've rewritten them both up here. Once we've got them the same denominator, we know that we can add them. So what is it that we've actually done here? This method is called the LCM method. So remembering back to last term when we looked at lowest common multiples, I can have a look at my denominators here. I've got 4 and 6. So let's write down my 4 times table. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Then let's have a look at our 6 times table. So we've got 6, 12, 18, 24. Now we can see that 24 does appear in both lists, so it is a common multiple, which is why this works. But 12 is our lowest common multiple. So by using our lowest common multiple, we make this calculation simpler. So we're going to have a look at using that lowest common multiple, converting our fractions into equivalent fractions using that, and then adding them together. So let's have a look at one of these. So we're going to have a look at a quarter plus 2/3. Now I know that I can split this into our quarters and thirds like we've done before, but let's just double check to see if that is the optimum way to do it. So let's have a look at our lowest common multiples. So I've got 4, 8, 12. And then I have 3, 6, 9, 12. So we can see that 12 is our lowest common multiple. So we have double checked that. So now let's split this. So let's split this into quarters going down here. And then we can also do thirds going across here. Now this isn't always possible, like we saw in the previous example with our lowest common multiples. And we're going to have a look at another one in a minute. Okay, so we know that this is a quarter. Okay, so we can rewrite here our quarter is 3/12. Let's pick a different colour pen. Now 2/3 would be the same as saying we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the same as writing 8/3, 8/12, sorry. So then I know that once I've got that as 12ths, I can add up the number of 12ths I have, which is 8 and 3, which gives me 11/12. So we're going to have a look at one more example. So this time we can't split this as 5 one way and 6 the other way, because if we did, we might not necessarily get the lowest common multiple. Because if we did that, we would end up with 24. So let's have a look at what our lowest common multiple would be. So if I've got 6, 12, 18, let's start doing the 4s and see if we can find one. 4, 8, 12. Okay, so actually our lowest common multiple is 12. So I need to split this into 12ths. So let's start by, let's split this into quarters here. Now instead of splitting this into 6, because that would give me 24, and I don't want to go with the 24 because it makes it a slightly more complicated process, and I want to start using my lowest common multiples. To get this to be 12, I know I need to split this into 3 parts. I now have 12. So how am I going to get 5/6 into 12s? Well, what have I done here? I've multiplied that by 2, which means I need to do the same to my numerator. So it will be 10/12. And then here I have 3/4. I want that to be 12ths as well. So what have I done to get from 3/4? So what have I done from quarters to 12ths? I've multiplied that by 3. I need to do the same to the numerator. So that gives me 9/12. I now have 19/12. Now some of you may have recognised straight away that's greater than 1. So I know that I've got 1 whole. How many left over? Because we know 1 whole is 12/12. I know then I have 7 left over. So I have 7/12. 1 and 7/12. So stop the video, go and have a go at some of the questions and see how you get on.